showcase कोई आपने
Well,
uh,
yes, of course. पहली तो मैं इसके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिव कमेंट ये करूंगा कि
Sid, I basically shared a letter with you. If you would kindly share that on the screen, and I think that would shed some light in terms of why, and in terms of why there is so much support in terms of uh, the United States for Israel in particular, especially in the last 20 odd years. This is an open letter from the evangelical Christians to I think not many people actually realize how much influence they carry. And the day that letter was made public, this was only about. Uh, please, Sid, can you go through? Could you read
yes,
the
yes, yes,
letter
yes.
for me so
Yes,
enlighten people on that?
evangelical statement in support of Israel. In the wake of the evil and indefensible atrocities now committed against the people of Israel by Hamas, we, the undersigned, equivocally condemn the violence against the vulnerable, fully support Israel's right and duty to defend itself against further attack, and urgently call all Christians to pray for the salvation and peace of the people of Israel and Palestine. While our theological perspective on Israel and church may vary, we are unified in calling attacks against Jewish people especially troubling as they have been often targeted by their neighbors since God called them and his people in the days of Abraham in Genesis 12:1-3. Since the inception of modern state of Israel in 1948, Israel has faced numerous attacks, incursions, and violations of its national sovereignty. The Jewish people have long endured genocidal attempts to eradicate them and to destroy the Jewish state. The anti-Semitic deadly ideologies and terrorist actions must be opposed. Israel stands as a rare example of democracy in a region dominated by authoritarian regimes. The tragic event of October 7th further underscores the importance of democracy in our world and stand as a sober reminder that supporting Israel's right to exist is both urgent and needed. In keeping with Christian just war traditions, we also affirm the legitimacy of Israel's right to respond against those who have initiated these attacks as Romans 13 this is a Bible verse, grants government the power to bear the sword against those who commit such evil acts against innocent life. Furthermore, we recognize the dignity and personhood of all persons living in the Middle East and affirm God's love for them as well as his offer of salvation through Jesus Christ to all people. We also recognize the difficulty ministry of Jewish and Palestinian believers who labor for the gospel. We pray for their protection and for God's blessing on their gospel ministry. Finally, we call on American policymakers to use their power to take all forms of terrorism seriously and call government and civil authorities to confront evil work to prevent future attacks so that the innocent and vulnerable will be protected. May God bring peace to Middle East. This
Now,
is
my
the
question
evangelical
is,
letter.
my question is, this was a letter addressed to the Congress, to directly to these people who have access to the President of the United States, and they happen to sit in the very heart of the decision making uh, mechanisms within Washington, D.C., within the White House. Now, the question is, if this is not religious extremism, I don't know what is. Yes, it's a religious matter. It's a religious matter, not for local Palestinian Christians. It's not a religious matter for Muslims who happen to be local over there. It is a religious matter for evangelical Christians. It is a religious matter for some Jews who don't happen to belong to that land. And that is why they are so harsh to these people. It gives them orgasms in terms of it's not just Hamas who is basically conducting a religious warfare or terrorist attacks. This is dogma being used to run policies. Do you understand? So I thought we should highlight that aspect of this situation as well. If anyone else has something to add, please go ahead.
Uh, I want to draw your attention to the fact that you are pointing towards everything, but not staying within the Muslim community. You know, the ones who were killing children and dragging dead bodies
Sir,
naked. They
sir,
were shouting "Allahu
sir,
Akbar." And just tell
sir,
about that.
watch my words. Watch my words. Please listen carefully. Hamas is a terrorist organization. It's an extremist organization. They have done just as much good for Palestine as Al Qaeda has done for global Muslim community. They have brought the Muslim community not just to shame, but the very people they are asking or claiming to protect, they have put them at the hands of butchers. They have provided those excuses so those children and those people can be executed. But having said that, if I'm saying that about my own extremist groups from a religion which I belong to, and I distance myself from them, I am not going to have absolutely no uh, fear in pointing that out, that what's happening in United States is also religious extremism, the basis on which the state genocidal apartheid state of Israel has been conceived, and they do not even accept the Orthodox Jews in regards to that, is nothing but religious extremism, sir. Do you disagree with that?
Shaji, actually, I would like to. You're not the only one who
So, Saji,
calls
can I
out the
disagree
rat.
with you?
Yes, carry on.
Look, I was in Israel. I was in Tel Aviv. I was in Haifa, and I was in Jerusalem. And I met a lot of Arab people who were in Haifa. Like that was like some kind of salsa Halloween party. They were all dressed up. They were partying. Like when the guy in the end dropped me back in the train station in Haifa, he was more afraid of Muslims than Jewish people. So it really tells you like when you say apartheid, it's not apartheid actually. South Africa is not the same as Israel. Maybe there are some discrimination, but it's definitely not apartheid.
You know, 18% of Israelis are Arab Israelis, and they have the same rights as Israelis. And you are calling them apartheid, and they fear Palestinians. He's saying is right. The Muslims are scared of Muslims more than anybody else. So yeah, that's my a point comment, and you try to think over it why that is so. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I would like to show you a
No, I
little bit of
actually did not
what's going
understand what
on
you
over
what you
there.
said. Can you repeat yourself, and maybe this time round you can be a bit more clear in regards to what the point exactly is which you're trying to make? Rupesh, can you please clarify yourself? Can you elaborate a bit, please? Go ahead.
I was pointing out that there are Arab who happen to be Muslims who are citizens of Israel, and they are as much they want to keep away from your Palestinian Muslim brothers and Christian brothers. I have seen with my own eyes. They are living peacefully and they have voting right. They have their members in place. So
Rupesh, is
I,
there
I, this thing apartheid is just bunkum. I say just
Rupesh,
something because okay,
uh,
whatever. Sir.
respectfully, sir, I agree with you. They happen to be 18%. What are you going to do with the other 82% of the population? Slaughter them?
They are not citizens of Israel. They are Palestinians, and these 18% are
Oh, they're
Arab
Palestinians
citizens
because
of.
they do not acknowledge the state of Israel. So they happen to believe in the two-state solution. That is why you don't consider them to be Israelis.
Actually,
What
Shaji,
kind
I
of
would like to show.
marker do you have, Rupesh?
No, Shaji,
Would you please like
in the
to
case of
elaborate?
apartheid state, and why do we call it the apartheid state? I would like to again show you a little bit of a video. Now, the people in this video are not actually uh, Israeli military. These are the Israeli civilians. See how they treat the other Muslim civilians in Israel. Quite lovely.
انت جاي تمد ايدك ما إلك. هاي الشرطه جايه، هيك بتشوف كل هلا بتشوف ايش خلفي. احكي شو بدك. قاعد بيسوي مشاكل، قاعد بيستغش فينا، بقعد في سيارتنا، انزل من السياره لان هذا مش مالك. قال قاعدين بخوفوا فينا بالسلاح، قاعدين بخوفوا فينا. سيارته هاي، سيارته هذه. انت ما إلك، اسمع، ما إلك تشغل السياره، انت داخل بارضنا، انت جاي تسوي مشاكل، احنا ما جينا. هون ارضنا اشتريناها. لا ما لنا يا حبيبي، ارضنا اشتريناها، ما لنا حقنا تبعنا. ما تلعب بالسياره. هاي انا بصور فيها هيوها. انت هدول اوراق خاصه فينا، ما إلك فيهم. ما انت جدك علي، انت جدك علي. ايوه انت على الارض، انت على زينا. انت شيطان، احنا ما غلطنا.
Isn't this just lovely? These are not, by the way, any paramilitary forces or any IDF members. These are Israeli civilians, armed, quite well armed with AR-15s, and just lovely how they are treating people who just want to, go to their home in their car. I believe none of you would let me touch your car, and these people have to live through this. This was just one video. It was one incident that was on a video. Majority of these incidences don't end up on videos. Majority of these incidences end up
End
with
of the
death.
day, Sid, these kind of videos you can see from both sides, both ends.
Yeah,
Like
but on
you
the
can
other
find,
end, the people are on the other
you
end.
can find a random
Right?
lady walking. You can find a videos random lady walking around the street and stabbing people.
Oh, you mean the random lady who is confirmed to be a Muslim somehow?
I don't know, but there are some videos which they shown, like people just
Hmm.